Hola, bienvenidos a todos. Hi everybody, welcome to Spanish class. Bienvenidos a la clase de español. More specifically, welcome to Spanish 10 of the 3Y program. My name is Miss Enriquez. Mi nombre es Señorita Enriquez. And I thought I'd put together a little welcome video here that will guide you through a few things for this year. Here at Argyle, we do function in a very different format. So I'm going to let you know what programs you'll need throughout the course, what to expect, what the expectations are, all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, guys, it's really important that you know which course and which program you are in. I actually teach all three programs here at Argyle, all three Spanish programs, which means I'm in charge of 18 different levels. Whew. Yes, so it's really important that you know which Spanish 10 course you're in, which program you're in, especially when you're checking in online or sending me emails and things like that. You want to make sure that you know which course you're in so we're on the right page. So this course is Spanish 10, Language and Culture. The program is 3-year, or a lot of the time you'll see a 3Y. So Spanish 10, a 3Y. And what does that mean? That means it takes 3 years for you to complete this program. Some other programs take 6 years and others take 9 years. This one takes 3. So there you go, first, second, and third year. Usually it coincides with grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12. It doesn't always, so if you're not in the level that corresponds to the program, don't even worry about it. I will go ahead and make sure that you're in the right level. But that's usually what it looks like. And of course, it goes from beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So you're right here in your first year, usually in grade 10 and at the beginner level. So what does that look like? Like I said, it's beginner, which means you have never, ever taken a Spanish course before, ever. So if you have taken a course before, make sure you pause the video, contact me right away, either via email or giving me a call at the school or stopping by the school. I love to meet my students in person, especially when I only get to see them online, if that. So you can always swing by the school and we can chat a little bit about what your level is and whether you should stay in this level or not. And guys, don't be afraid to do this. It's really not a problem at all. I actually have to do it a lot in September to make sure that all my students are in the right level. So if you're unsure what level you should be in or whether you should be in this one at all, by all means, just let me know and it will be no problem to figure that out and to make sure that you're in the right level. So lastly, you've had little to no exposure. So if you're coming from a family that has fluent speakers at home, that is definitely a lot of exposure to Spanish. So this would perhaps not be the correct level for you. So Spanish 10 is for beginners. You've never taken a Spanish course before, and you've never had any real exposure to Spanish. All right, so if you do meet these 3 criteria, oh, and there's one more. That's right. As part of the 3Y program, it's actually the most accepted program by secondary institutions. So that's just an FYI for you, especially if you're planning on using it for post-secondary institutions like university, college, things like that. If you're hoping to get the 30 level that is accepted in universities and colleges and around the world, this is the right place for you. This is definitely the most widely accepted program out of the 3 Spanish programs. All right, so if you meet these 4 criteria, then we can go ahead and continue. So what to expect this year? First off, it is a full year course. So all language courses that are part of Edmonton Public, that follow the Edmonton Public curriculum, have been designed to take a full year to complete. So just keeping that in mind. You can expect roughly 3 hours of work each week. And again, this is up to you. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. You don't have to come to class for 3 hours a week, but that is the amount of work that you should be putting in each week. And remember, it's at an independent pace, so it's your responsibility to stay on top of that. The structure of the class, there are 3 steps. You watch the instructional video, you complete written assignments, and then you complete verbal assignments. So these instructional videos, guys, I cannot stress how important they are. So when you're watching it, please don't just flop on the couch and kind of play it in the background. You're going to miss a lot of information. You're going to make your assignments way more complicated and difficult for yourself. So when you're watching these videos, pretend that you're in class. So I highly recommend that you have a notebook open where you can jot down notes. Or another tab open on your computer where you can type up notes or specific questions that you're going to ask me later on, or jotting down particular areas of the video that you maybe didn't understand and then you want me to go through after. Again, like I said, everybody's working at a different pace, so you have to be specific, and it's your again, your responsibility to go through these videos. And the reason why I do them on my own time is so that you can watch them whenever is most convenient for you. So you can have all that material there. You can watch the videos as much as you need to. Okay, so once you're comfortable with the videos, the second step is to complete the written assignments on Google Classroom. Usually they're worksheets or projects. Once that's done, and then the final step is to complete your verbal assignments. Now, these are really important. Guys, this is not a correspondence course, which means you do not just simply complete written work, submit it, and then you're done. That will not get you a final grade for this course. In fact, the majority of your final grade is made up of your verbal assignments. So because this is a Spanish online course, you will have to speak out loud in Espanol every single week. So these verbal assignments are hands down the most important part of the program, and you need to be completing them out loud online. Which brings me to the next point. You must have a working mic in order to speak in Spanish in order to pass this course. So a lot of laptops now have mics embedded in them. You can buy separate mics and connect them into your existing computer. It's really up to you. All I need is to be able to hear you speak in Espanol in order to complete your assignments and pass this course. And like I said, there is no set class time. I do not instruct during the day. Those are the instructional videos that I've made on my own time that you can watch on your own time. So you don't have to come at a specific time and sit there for an hour. That you can do at your own convenience. However, you do have to come to class every single week to complete your written assignments. So class times are every Mondays from 9 a.m. to 10, 11 to 12, and 2 to 4. So you can come early in the morning, you can come in the afternoon, you can come in the morning and in the afternoon. It's totally up to you. I have students who check in all 3 times throughout the day. They practice with me, or they ask me to edit their work, or we go through a lot of the material together after they've watched the videos. Or I have students that are super busy and they just come online, do their quick assignment. They're only there for a few moments, they sign off, I check them off for the week, and they're good to go. Right? Again, it's totally up to you what pace you're working at and what your educational needs are. But for the 3Y program, 10-3Y, you check in Mondays 9 to 10, 11 to 12, or 2 to 4. All right, so that's the format of the course. The programs we use this year are actually 3 different programs. If you took Spanish with me at Argyle in the past, you were probably expecting Moodle. However, we will not be using Moodle this year at all, so you can go ahead and forget about that for a moment. We'll be using Google Sites, Google Classroom, and Blackboard, and that's it. So the first one is Google Sites. You can access it via School Zone. So you sign into School Zone, you go to Apps and then Sites, and I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. From there, you'll be able to access the launching pad or the starting point, where you basically have everything that you need for this course. It looks similar to this, basically like this. Every now and then I tweak it here and there, so it might look slightly different, but more or less like this. Guys, make sure you're keeping an eye out for things like this. So here it says a 3Y program, which you're currently enrolled in, but if it shows up as 6Y or 9Y, you've actually been linked to the incorrect course, to the wrong course. So you just need to let me know right away and I can fix that glitch for you. But definitely keeping an eye out for things like that. You are part of the 3Y program. So the first thing, there are 4 icons here. You simply need to click each one to get to a certain place. So the first one, the purple one here, is the Blackboard session. You click on that during Mondays, during our class times, and it'll take you straight to the Blackboard session where you can speak to me directly, to ask questions, to complete your verbal assignments, all that fun stuff. When you sign in, it will ask you for your first and last name. Guys, it's really important that you actually put your first and last name or last initial. And as much as I appreciate nicknames and funny names and things like that, if you do that, I'll have a quick little chuckle and then I'll ask you to sign out and sign back in with your actual name. Because this is the only way I get to see who you are, right? And so making sure that you're putting your first name, and because I have so many students with the same name, make sure you're also putting your last name or your last initial. So those are for your verbal assignments. For your written, it's right here, Google Classroom. You click on that icon, it takes you straight to Google Classroom. You'll see each unit. Within each unit, you'll see the videos. Within each, or attached to the videos, of course, are your written assignments, which you will submit right then and there in Google Classroom. The next one, who is your teacher? So I just put together a little YouTube video that describes who I am as a teacher, what to expect from me, what I expect from my students, all that fun stuff. So sometimes it gets really busy once the school year gets going. And so I wanted to put together a quick little video that shows you a little bit about who I am and what to expect from me. And of course, lastly, is the welcome video that I've attached there. In case you want to rewatch it, go back and look at and review any of the information and all that fun stuff. Okay, so quick little recap. Of course, Google Classroom, like I said, that's where you handed all your written assignments and projects. There's the icon. Sometimes the background is green, and it looks like this. Again, keeping an eye out, making sure it says Spanish 10-3Y. And once you get there, go to the second tab, which now doesn't read as students, it reads as coursework. So sometimes it'll tweak little things like that. So once you select coursework, it'll show you all the units and the videos and the worksheets. So making sure you're submitting it there and not sending me separate assignments via email or on Google Share. Unless you have to. And if you do that, make sure you email me first so we can discuss it. Blackboard, so this is where you come to class, like I said, to complete your verbal assignments, ask questions, discuss assignments, etc., etc., etc. These are the 3 icons that you might see. The first 2 up here are quite old, so you might not see them at all, but just in case they pop up somewhere, you know that it takes you to the exact same place. It all means the same thing. The new one is this purple one right here, which is probably the one that you're going to see. But again, if you see all 3, don't worry, it all takes you to Blackboard. All right, so School Zone is where you start. You go ahead and sign in with your username and password that you received when you registered with Edmonton Public Schools. So it didn't have to be Argyle, it's just in general with Edmonton Public, same username, password. If you're not sure what it is, you can call the main office and get it there. Then you'll be taken to the news page. Again, it looks a little different from a student's view, but you will see school news, class news, as well as up in reports, you'll see your report cards and your interim marks. If, however, you click apps, that's where you're taken to Google Sites. So you click on Google Sites and you will be taken directly to the launching pad. So one more time, School Zone, apps, sites, and then you will be good to go. All right, so short little recap. I've said most of this already, but steps to take in order to be successful in this course. Number 1, make sure to watch the instructional videos first. Very, very, very important. And number 2, complete the corresponding assignments to each instructional video before moving on to the next video and assignment. So remember, everybody's going to be working at a different pace. Some will be behind you, some will be ahead. So if you're working on a certain unit and you see the next 2 or 3 pop up, Don't worry about it. Don't freak out. Some students need to get these done quite quickly. That doesn't mean you're behind or anything like that. Focus on your assignments and getting them done in order. Languages are built one concept at a time. So, for example, at this beginner level, we'll be looking at the Spanish alphabet first, then the sounds of Spanish, simple words, simple sentences and complex sentences, and eventually working towards independent conversations. But if you start jumping around, you go to independent conversations and you go back to the alphabet and things like that, all you'll do is miss information along the way and really make your assignments much more complicated and difficult than they need to be. So make sure you're taking your time, working at your own pace, and completing the assignments in order. Again, you need to attend class a minimum of once per week. This is a requirement. If you were at Argyle before, we sometimes didn't have requirements. Things have been changing over the last little bit here. So this year we will be having requirements, and all we need is for you to come to class on through the Blackboard sessions, one class per week. So all you have to do is check in with me once per week. I will check you off and you will have met your attendance requirement for the week. Number 4, complete all written assignments in Google Classroom. Number 5, complete all verbal assignments in Blackboard. And number 6, dedicate all of January to the midterm exam and all of June to the final exam. So a heads up, this is why I let students know in September. The midterms and the finals do have 3 components to it. They do take a lot of work to prep. I help you every step of the way. It's a really great opportunity for you to do very, very well halfway through and at the end. But it's crucial that you dedicate all of January and June to it. So it's really important that you finish all your assignments before January and June. If you don't, you'll be very overwhelmed. It's a lot of work to get through and you risk missing that final deadline, right? So keeping that in mind as we get started, getting all those assignments done before January, before June, and then dedicating each month to the midterm and the final. Okay, guys, so we have a plan. So just like these lovely little penguins that always make me chuckle, they seem really determined and ready to get to work, and I hope you are too. I know I am. So lastly, I just wanted to wish you buena suerte, good luck in this course, and as well, éxito en este nuevo curso. So success in this new course. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you in class. Gracias. Adios.